to kind of give you guys some information about the element class on Sunday. On Sunday the 21st, we are having the first of the four element classes. This first class is going to be the earth element class. In this class, we're going to talk about various elements that we're going to be using in our root work. We're going to talk about the various elements that you use in root work. So we're going to be talking about things like dirts. We're going to be talking about stones. We're going to be talking about trees. We're going to be talking about leaves on the trees, sticks, different types of dirts from specific places, and why you use dirts from particular places. And the reasons why you're using them, what kind of energy you're pulling, how to pull the dirt, not just picking dirt up. There's other things in between you want to do to preserve the energy that you're moving from one place to another. So we're going to talk about those things. We're going to talk about accidents. We're going to talk about working with the parts of an accident, from the earth element perspective. We're going to talk about using walnuts, pecans, for readings, simple four shell readings. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about organic elements, using all the organic elements like foods, preparing foods for spirits, for spiritual energies. And this is the perspective that we're approaching it, spiritual energies, preparing food for them, working your work through organic objects. You might have some baked dirt. You might have an eggplant. How you going to work that? Baked dirt and eggplant. Those are two elements you have. The two raw ingredients you have. Two earth elements. How are you going to work it, and what are you working it for? These are the things that we're going to discuss, talk about. Because we look at an eggplant. Okay, this eggplant is what? Purple? Purple? What energy does this purple energy kind of draw on? You see? It can draw on a transformative energy. So therefore, if I wanted to change a situation, I take an eggplant. Why? It's purple. It carries the spectrum of the color purple energy in it. And this purple energy is the energy of royalty, transformation, and in some cases even death. But death in itself is a form of transition from one to another. You see? So to change a situation, I take this eggplant and I do specific things with it to direct the energy that I'm using, consecrate it, bless it, pray on it, whatever, conjure whatever I'm doing into it, whatever, our formulas we're going to discover. And we use that organic element as a spirit vessel and as an offering in the woods to the trees. So there are so many different aspects that we're going to cover in the earth element class. We're also going to cover stones. There's a plethora, a whole bunch of different stones out here. You definitely can have fun exploring the many different stones. What I would say, for the most part, just for conversation, is that root workers, all kind of root workers, old and new, they have just particular stones that they pull energies from, because they're just adapted to using the specific energies. Like you have some root workers, they work with all black stones, but it doesn't mean that they're doing dark energy just because they're working with all black stones. It's just because they're in tune with that specific frequency of those stones. So the black stones, if it's tourmaline or onyx or whatever, it just resonate deeply with them. So they know they have learned how to psychically and intuitively tune themselves to the black stone. Now somebody else might have jade. Somebody else might be using jade, or they might be using quartz. You know what I mean? So it just varies on the different perspectives on what they use stones and what they're using it for. And my perspective is all energy. You know what I mean? It's all energy, and for the most part, you draw the energies, either a male energy or it's a female type energy or force. So and you learn how to transmute those energies to get the balance that you need. And that's just some of the things that we're going to cover, especially the magnetic stones like the pyrite and the magnetite. They're very important in root working. Very important in root working because those stones have the natural ability to pull energy. Even when a lot of people don't know, you split the stone down the middle. In the center of the stone, you have the ability to repel energy. So there's different things we're going to talk about and about arranging the different elements together for a successful root work, or an attempt at a successful root work. So when we talk about dirts, we're going to talk about animals. A lot of root workers, especially the root workers today, we don't kind of, I guess, a lot of people just don't get into the animals, and working with the totem spirit and the totem power. But one thing for sure and for certain, I'll be the first to tell you that working with totem spirits and the totem energy is very important, very, very important in root working, because the totem energy and the totem spirit is one of the propelling forces of nature. And if we don't in tune, if we just try to neglect it and go around using and utilizing it, we actually giving ourselves a disservice spiritually. So I think for the most part, understanding how to work with this, the totem energy. If we're doing reading with bones, we do reading with bones. What kind of bones? For what particular reason would you use these bones? How can you tell what the bones are speaking and saying and communicating to you? See, these are the different things. So we can't, not one class ever, tell people how to read bones. Bones is reading, bones is something intuitively. You got to be very intuitive to read bones because there's no book for it. Trust me. So like the tree bark, you know, there's no book for it. You have to be on something else. You have to be on another whole level to find a dead raccoon and get his bones and throw it down and give somebody accurate reading. You have to be on that level. So, and with practice and real deep spirit communication, spirits will teach you how to, what things mean. And even in the midst of all of that, things mean different things at different times. Because I can have something land one way, this lighter can land the same way. Boom. Okay. I throw another reading, the lighter will land the same place again. Boom. Same spot. Land again. Same spot. Land again. Same spot. But each time it lands, what happens is there's a different interpretation. But the piece land the same place in the same position every time. You see? And this is why when reading oracles, a piece landing in the same spot doesn't mean the same thing all the time. If this means prosperity for you, the next person, it might mean destruction. Because we're not only looking at this piece, we're looking at this and how everything else around it. Plus your vision. Because you can't read, well, just my opinion, you shouldn't be reading organic anything without having just a superb psychic ability, because there's no blueprint for it. I mean, you're gonna look at a bunch of shells. I know people that read broken glass, and you come to me with a handful of broken glass and throw it down on the ground and start saying, yeah, man, oh man, sorry to hear you just lose your job, man. How you know that? You know what I mean? You never met a person in your life, and they tell you something like that. You be like, this dude just read broken glass. Oh, this lady here just read broken glass. How can they do it? A very intuitive, highly, extremely intuitive person who has a psychic ability, has a pineal gland activated, has a soul activated, can technically read anything. In my personal opinion, anything that's organic is easier to read, because anything that's organic already has life in it. It has ashe. We're going to cover all that in the class. Definitely, we're going to cover all of that in the class this Sunday, October 21st. We're going to cover various elements, and I end up getting into a discussion, but we're going to cover so much about the earth elements. That's why I broke everything down into separate classes. I was originally going to do the 4 element classes one, but then I started looking at all of the stuff that I really could inform people about. We're dealing with the earth. Yes, it's this Sunday, October 21st. Email me at medicinemale21@gmail, and I'll send you the email with the payment links and everything for it. I'm not asking anybody to put payment now. I only want the payments be in place on Sunday. On Sunday when we have the class. Yeah, Malik, I should have your email. And I sent an email out this morning to everybody that was in my email. I sent it out. So check your emails and let me know if you got my mass email I sent out about the class and everything. Some of the topics we're going to be discussing and talking about. So do that, Malik, and let me know. Let me know if you got it, because if not, I need to definitely resend it. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, so that's what we're gonna be doing this Sunday, man. It's gonna be dope for the most part. And then we're gonna move into the next element. We're gonna cover so much about the elements because there's so much to learn. Like, you are an element. You see, grounding yourself is very important. How are you gonna ground yourself? Everybody talk about grounding, ground. Yeah, you need to get grounded. You need to get grounded. How? Somebody tell me how. There's only one way you ground. Ask an electrician. Ask an electrician how you ground energy. And he'll tell you, you got to run a copper wire into the ground. Look outside of your house if you're for homeowners. Your electric box is grounded. Run that wire, copper wire, into the ground. They ground you into the earth. Why? Because the earth receives the energy and dissipates it. So it doesn't come a direct threat to hitting something, hitting your box, hitting your cable box, hitting your lights, causing a fire. So that excess energy that's lingering around the house grounds and goes to the copper wire into the ground to be released. Then you ask yourself why our ancestors used copper so much. Why all the witches walk around with copper jewelry? Yeah, we're going to definitely get into that Sunday. But so other than that, if y'all have any questions about the class or any information, just hit me up. MedicineMail21@gmail. We will have the class Sunday at 6 p.m. Sunday at 6 p.m. we will be getting live. I'm telling you, I'm not doing no talking. I'm not going to be doing this right here. I have everything laid out. And we're going to be talking about and doing some things, showing why we make certain elements. And we're going to create scenarios. You know what I mean? So for people to learn how to work with earth elements. Oh, yeah, all right. Email me again, and I'm going to send you that mass email. I'll send it to you. Thanks. So we're going to get into all of that, especially with the dirts, because I know everybody working with dirts and stuff like that. And we're going to talk about some things about speeding work up, slowing it down, different perspectives of certain ingredients you can use for that, and why you use those ingredients, why it makes sense to use those ingredients. One thing people know about me, who've been working with me closely, know that I focus more on thinking like a root worker. It's not about ingredients with me. It's not about what you're using. It's how you're using it, how you're programming your mind with this ritual to be able to project that energy out there, to fling it, just to throw the energy out. And you have to condition yourself. So it's not about rituals and ingredients. It's about how you condition your mind and your spirit, so that when you're working with these natural ingredients, that you can pull on the ashe from them, these organic elements, you can pull energy from them, because all organic elements have energy naturally, just naturally. So, and its most natural state, while it has that energy, you can pull on it. But once that energy is manufactured, or it touches machinery and stuff like that, it becomes an energetic problem of maintaining the essence of how that energy actually vibrated, or how that stone vibrated. And for that reason, this is why people be like, man, I don't want no tumbled stone. For what? They take a bunch of different various stones and put them up inside the machine and tumble them, break them up. You're stirring up the energies. Now, this tumbled jade doesn't possess the same energy frequency as the raw jade. You see what I'm saying? So we're going to understand those things and understand energy spectrums. And that's why, like I say, a lot of y'all see witches. You see some of them wear tumbled stones and some don't. You know what I mean? Some people work with tumbled stones, some don't. But there's an energy balance between the two, and energy differences between using both of those. And We're going to explain some of that and why you want to work more with the rawest elements, especially for beginners, people who's just learning how to do their root work and just learning root work, and why it's most important to learn the organic elements first and working with organic elements, doing readings with organic elements before you get into the new age type, internet hoodooish type stuff. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to direct people back into the old organic way, and that way there, because we are from the earth, and if we connect to cards and we connect to all these synthetic tangible things that people make magical, then it's a form of evolution. Of course it is, but the earth doesn't need to evolve because it is alive and natural. These objects and new things that we get into, it has to evolve to stay alive. The earth doesn't. It just is. You know what I mean? So for the most part, join us October 21st, Sunday. We're going to be live in effect. The earth element classes, we're going to have some difference. It's going down. The earth element class is going to get together and getting everything ready for it. It's going to be very informative. So I look forward to seeing everybody there. I got 25 spaces in the class. I'm almost like full. So if anybody want to come in, let me know, because the way that it looks is like I'm going to have two classes. I'm going to do a one class, for the first 25 people, and then I'm going to do another class for the other half. So we're going to get down with that. And we're going to make it very educational and informative. People that know me know that I focus more on teaching people how to think like a root worker, teaching you how to think magically, because once you understand how to think magically, when you approach the actual work, you can communicate with the forces on a deeper level, because you know how the forces move, like cause and effect. If you do this, this is going to happen. Now, if you do this and that don't happen, it only means that you either projected your energy wrong from here, or something came in between from the time you projected that energy, something came in between it to divert it off course. And this is why you have to have proper vision as a psychic, as a medium, because as the work going on, you kind of spot it. You see, oh, something ain't right in here. Let me do a reading. Let me call my spirits, talk to them and see what's going on. Hey, what do you think about this? And they say, yeah, we've been trying to show you all week, or we've been trying to show her all week that this thing is going in the wrong direction, so we need to fix it. And here's what to do to fix it. And they tell you, do this, do this, do this, and it fixes. You see? So for the most part, that's what happens. That's what happens in some cases with spiritual communication. But with the earth spirits and communicating with the earth is definitely a great thing. So I'll be looking forward to communicate with y'all Sunday, October 21st. I actually had an idea about the pricing, and trust me, I had no idea about the pricing, so I made it everybody $65 because I gave everybody the discount. I gave everybody the discount because originally it was 85. Then I was like, nah, I'm just everybody 65 because I wanted a lot of people to come through who could make it affordable for everybody. So it's $65. It's either through PayPal or Cash App. When you email me at medicinemale21@gmail, I will send you the information about the class, send you the links. And what I'll do is on Sunday morning, when I get up Sunday morning, I'm going to send everybody the click meeting set up and the link so we can get everybody in class, get everybody already set up Sunday morning and Sunday evening. So by 6 o'clock come, everybody should be fully aboard and we'll be rocking and rolling. Normally, my classes last about 2 hours, you know what I mean? But to be honest with you, we be going 3 hours. You know what I mean? I always schedule for 2, but trust me, everybody who take my class before already know we 2.5, 3 hours. You know what I mean? Because we be going in and then it ends like, dang, we still ain't finished. You know what I mean? And I tell them like, hey, let's go again tomorrow. Y'all got time. You know, that's how I am with my classes. I'm not uniformed as far as, okay, this is the end of the class, time's up, let's go. Okay, have a good day. I'm not that. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna teach you these things as if I'm learning myself. You know what I mean? So and trust me, I'm gonna be pouring it out, and we're gonna. I got everything kind of already in a chronicle. You know, like laid out. Like here's what we're gonna do. This is the chronology. We're going here, 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 here. We're gonna deal with all these elements. We're gonna talk about them, give people perspectives, ways to think about how when you approach a tree, ways to think on how what happens when you approach the beach, ways to think on what happened when you go in the beach. Yeah, Tez, man, put it in your shoe. All right, for real, put it in your shoe, bro. It'll real. Um, so we're going to talk about ways to think, and Tez mentioned something about the prosperity powder. Ways to think. How are you going to use this prosperity powder? You know what I mean? Me, I put some in my shoe and go in the bank and throw some in the bank. You know what I mean? Or I might get fly with it, go in the bank one day and take maybe a tiny little capsule of the prosperity powder, go take it in the bank and stash it in the seat. Stash it in the seat, let everybody come and suck up the ashes of everybody. Everybody ashes. Come in that bank. And then you come back a couple of days later, preferably 3. I try to open my path up. Come back 3 days later and take that powder out the capsule. Then I go whipping in the whip and make a formula with it. And now I've successfully transferred ashe from that bank and now I got in this little tiny capsule powder. All it needs a pinch, beep, and you transfer the energy over. You know what I mean? So we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff like that and root working strategies and techniques. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people know how to sit at the kitchen table and do their root work, but what happens when you walk outside? What happens when you're downtown near the museums? What happens when you're near gas stations, supermarkets? Are you still thinking like a root worker? You see? What are the scenarios of things that could happen? So we're gonna cover that, especially with collecting evidence. Like I made a post on Facebook the other day. I don't know if people. I mean, I think I was joking with that particular post, but it said something about you're a root worker when you see an accident happen and you pick up a piece of glass before you check on the person see if they're okay. You like this here, bam, the car down wrecked. You're like, damn, you running over there like, sir, sir, you okay? Putting the broken glass in your pocket. That's what people do. And that's the life of a root worker. You know what I mean? I'm not saying you see an accident, you don't go help people, you just go. But I was talking about principle. In principle, it's like we approach things to get the energy from them. You know what I mean? So as long as you're locked in that mind state, principally, locked in that mind state hardcore, like boom, it's really going to be strong and effective when you extract elements. So like I said, we're going to talk about all that. Not glass. We ain't talking about glass and not in the earth element class because glass is manufactured. So we talk about that in something else. With the dirts and powders and stuff. We'll elaborate on that a little bit. All right, everybody. If nobody got a question for me, hit me up at medicinemale21@gmail, and most definitely we'll be getting busy on the class. The class is Sunday, March. I call it out my birthday, Sunday, October 21st, and we're gonna be getting busy with the Earth Elements class. Medicine Mail 21@gmail. Hit me up. Y'all have a great day. Peace.